What's up, everyone? I am Untamed Mando, and this is Literary Souls, where we talk about literature, books, and literature adjacent things. I think it's kind of how it works. I think that's what I'm going for. Sometimes we do talk about other things besides literature adjacent things. Let me double check that, make sure we are live over on Rumble as well. I believe we are, but for some reason it's being dumb. Hello, Rumble? Okay, there we go. Yes, Rumble is working. So for any of you who are on Rumble, please go ahead and watch and give that a rumble and a follow and all that good stuff. And for any of you who are curious, yes, I do have a new camera. Let me know what you guys think. I can't get it to its fullest capabilities on 1080p on StreamYards because that would require like $40 or $50 a month for the updated subscription plan for that. And I'm not monetized on YouTube yet, so I cannot afford it yet. But we are working towards the end of this month, hopefully getting to 200 subscribers on YouTube. I'm trying to do a lot more things on YouTube, like focusing more on highlights from Literary Souls and Unplugged, and just overall just trying to make the YouTube channel a little bit just cleaning it up and giving it a little facelift and all of that good stuff. I hope hopefully, if it's doing well, please go ahead and give that a like and a subscribe and all of that good stuff. And yeah, we're going to be talking about some Halo again today. Thank you for everyone who was there last week with the amazing panel of Elijah. So Elijah Troubled Green, my friend Smile a While, Miss Martin Muses, and yeah, Miss Martin Muses, me. I was like, we were supposed to have a couple more guests, so my brain still thinks that they were there, but they were there in spirit. And hopefully this next Literary Souls, or the next installment of Chronicles of Narnia, or the Summer of Narnia, we will have a few more panelists for that stream, and it's going to be freaking awesome. We're going to be talking about The Horse and His Boy next month on the Summer of Narnia, and I am excited because that is both Elijah and Smile a While's favorite book of the series. So yeah, let me know let me know what you guys think about my new camera. I've cleaned up my setup a little bit just to make sure it looks, because now I have a wider a wider screen, so just trying to make sure it still looks good, everything looks fabulous and all of that. So yeah, hello to my editor Americus. Hello. He's gonna be. We're looking forward to the next installment for Sea of Thieves Shenanigans. It's gonna be fabulous. He did a fabulous work on Sea of Thieves Shenanigans Volume 1. Go back in my videos later on, and you should watch that because he did a fabulous job editing that. It was gold, if I do say so myself. And I always seem to forget because I haven't been drinking as much coffee lately, and I don't have my prompt with me, which is sad. If you like coffee and you like tea and you like playing D&D, you should get your coffee and your tea at Geek Grind Coffee. I'm a partner of theirs, and if you put in the code Mando20, you get a little bit of a discount off your next order on Geek Grind Coffee. They are supporters and promoters and all of the things of Friday Night Tights and Nerdrotic. So yeah, you are oh god. Don't you worry, Americus, don't you worry. There's no pressure. It's nice. I'm excited. This is me being excited about the new things coming to the channel and stuff, and just new chapter of my streaming career. You know, new camera, new editor, new content. Yes, thank you. Buy Mando's Coffee here. That is correct. What's up, Gravy? How you doing today? But yeah, I never promote them like I should. I need to have like a little advertisement thing. I'm gonna probably edit something to where I just click on it. It's like advertise Geek Grand Coffee, because I keep forgetting on every single one of my streams. But I will rectify that eventually. So yeah, we are. I'll give it a few more minutes for people to come in and hang out and stuff, and we'll talk about Halo. But I'm just reminding everyone some changes coming to the channel of one, yeah, I have a new camera. Two, I'm going to try and make sure I'm uploading videos at least 2 or 3 times a week. Mostly they're going to be highlights of Literary Souls or Unplugged, even though Unplugged is switching to every other Sunday, but it will be exclusively on my channel. I'm good. Hope you are well. I am well, good sir. Today I'm a little jumbled. I had my thoughts lined up, and then my cat just like, oh goodness. But for those of you who were there for last week's Literary Souls, like it was fun. I had a ton of fun with Elijah and everyone. What's up, Salty Multimedia Mendo? Yeah, that's what we're hoping to get more things on this YouTube channel, because I do want to start grinding to get this channel monetized at some point in time. Hopefully get to 200 subscribers by the end of the month at least. That'll be a great milestone for on my way to subscriptions, or to subscribers. Words are hard sometimes. Oh, Salty, what do you think of a new camera? It's not you can only do 720 on my level subscription on StreamYards, but I finally made a purchase. Have been kind of saving up with for my Twitch payouts, and was able to get a new camera. I'm excited for it. My computer actually cannot quite handle its full capabilities, which is funny, but it basically means I need to upgrade my streaming PC. Dig the lighting, the angle and lighting. It's chill and looks great. Thank you. Thank you. I actually, one of the best things about having this new camera is the fact that I don't have to turn these lights on so high. Like usually whenever I have the lights on, it's like I'm blinding myself during streams. To monetization, you mean? Start giving us money even though you've never earned a profit, YouTube. Basically. Yes, I'm working towards monetization, and recently there's actually been a an update on monetization on YouTube. They've lowered the bar a little bit for just to get in monetization. There's going to be a bit of a tier system now, where you just need 500 subscribers, and like I think you still need 500 subscribers and like 1,000 or 4,000. I think it's like still 4,000. Is it 4,000? It's either 1,000 or 4,000 watch hours. So I'm at 187 at the moment for subscribers. So they lower the bar a lot. Well, hopefully I will be able to utilize that soon with me. Hopefully, the plan is to get at least 200 by the end of the month, and just keep moving after that. So we'll hopefully this channel will be able to get to super chats soon. Lord have mercy. Why can't I speak today? Yeah. But yeah, that's kind of some of the updates that are coming to the channel. Hopefully adding more content. So it's 500 subs, 1,000 watch hours. So half the previous subs and 3,000 less watch hours. So that's nice. It's funny because my friend Wicked Virtue just got monetized like last week, and she's like, dang it. But yeah, I'm hoping that I think with the new parameters, gosh, last month I had at least 1,000 watch hours, so that the watch hours will be fine. It's just getting to the subscription. Lol. Tell me about War of the Rohirrim reaction. I haven't seen it yet. Haven't seen any reactions yet. I've got your video that I will be playing soon, Salty. I'm nervous. Imagine Wicked was screaming at the sky when she heard they changed the requirements. Yes, like a week after she got monetized. Oh my god. But yeah, we're the next 6 months I'm gonna really be grinding hard to get to monetization. But I want to do it the right way. I'm going to still do like I'm going to accept the monetization for these new standards, but my goal is still going to be the 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours, because usually when you get to that point in YouTube, like you start really catching momentum, and that's kind of what I want to do. So while yes, I do appreciate the lower standards, I'm seeing that as it's like, okay, well, it gives you a chance it gives you motivation to keep moving forward. What's up, Boba? How you doing today? Don't forget tonight, Boba, are you going to be streaming on Twitch or is it going to be you streaming? But we will be playing Gang Beasts, which is a fun, crazy, chaotic, wonderful game. So yeah, if I'm forgetting any details about that, Boba, please forgive me. Forgive me. Because it's like what? Let me take a look at the announcement again for that. It's supposed to be, so it's going to be on Twitch. Let me take a look. It's gonna be 6 p.m. Eastern, so 5 p.m. Central, and yeah, it's gonna be on Twitch. Okay, it'll be on Boba's channel, which is Jetplane X on his Twitch channel. So if you like having fun and shenanigans, you should check that out tonight at 5 Central, 6 Eastern. Oh yeah, those are mostly the announcements I had out of the way. This is probably going to be a bit of a shorter stream than usual, because there's not that much going on in the like uh entertainment sphere besides like. Well, I mean, I might actually watch the War of the Rohirrim trailer live. We'll do a live reaction on this channel today. That's what we'll do today. So it won't be probably um as great. What's up, Riker? Only 11 minutes late. No worries. YouTube doesn't pay creators, Jack. In truth, channel memberships and supers are the only actual monetization, and both are hard earned and take development of skills along with raw badassery. Yeah. Well, I'm excited. I'm gonna utilize. I'm still gonna go for that bigger goal. I just know for sure that regardless, I need to focus more time on my YouTube channel because it's been suffering. But hopefully with my new editor, we both will work hard to get the channel up and making some more content. Yee. No pressure. I promise no pressure on you, Americus. Like you're just getting started in the editing stuff, so don't you worry. We're gonna figure this out together. There's no trailer and no images from War. They leaked the whole plot, but not even a still. Huh. Okay, so there's not a trailer. Okay. So it's very nervous. Don't you worry about it. Don't you worry about it. There's no trailer, no images from War of the I'll look up Salty, can you send me on Twitter a the plot that you found? I'm gonna pull up Twitter real fast. We won't do it right now, but I want to at some point in time for the stream kind of give my reaction to the War of the Rohirrim plot. Yeah, because I was actually hopeful for this thing. I'm kind of worried about it now. On his sweet cheeks. Thank you so much, Salty. I'll appreciate it. All right. So while Salty is working on that, and while we'll probably do that review a little bit later on in the stream, let's talk about Halo. So for any of you who are new to the channel or watching this later, and are like, who is this person and why are you, what are you doing? We've been going through the Halo book series, besides when we are talking about Chronicles of Narnia, which Chronicles of Narnia is once a month on my channel where I bring in a panel of amazing guests and we discuss the different books of the Chronicles of Narnia series. We recently did Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, and the next installment will be The Horse and His Boy. I have to remember the order of things and stuff and such. Let me make sure. Let me look over there. That's fine. Fabulous. Perfect. Okay. And so the latest installment of the books. So I'm going to bring over the 3 books that I've read previously. So on this channel, we have gone through the first book, which is The Fall of Reach. Gave it a 8 or 9 out of 10. Fabulous book. I really enjoy it. The Flood, I gave it a 6. If you have played the game, it's a 6. If you haven't, it's probably a 7 or 8. And then the First Strike, which has actually been my favorite out of the 3 that I had read so far. I think Ghosts of Onyx is actually like it's about on par with First Strike in my opinion. Put that over there. Okay, I see that. Da, 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 da. Thank you, Salty. I push my weighted. I got it. Da, da, da. All right, cool. I've yet to read any Halo books. Boba, you should. I think you would enjoy them. You've played through the Halo games, if I remember correctly. I think besides the Flood, I think you would enjoy the other books that I've read so far. There's a lot of books in the Halo book series. And I'm really enjoying it so far. Like I said, the only one that I didn't enjoy was the second one, which is the Flood, which is basically the Halo Combat Evolved with a little bit of extra spicy stuff put in. Like even some of the dialogue is almost the exact same. Like if you've played the game, I don't think you're going to really enjoy the book as much. If you haven't played the game, I think you would really enjoy this book because it gives you a lot of insight. It gives you a lot of information about the world. It gives you a lot of world building, a lot of the thoughts behind why Master Chief is doing what he's doing and all of that good stuff. Him and Cortana's relationship kind of forming and how they see each other. Like, do they trust each other? Don't they trust each other? It's kind of like the first big mission they both went on. Which is, I mean, like I said, it's a good book if you haven't played the games. Gotta head out, have an eye exam in about an hour. I'm sure the results are gonna be a Ray Charlotte quote. I can't see. Yeah. All right, Americans, you have fun at the eye doctor. Make sure they don't poke your eye out. You'll shit your eye out, kid. So, just kind of recapping the 3 books that we've read. Halo: The Fall of Reach. Basically, it is a few trying to give a good synopsis of it. For any of you I'm going to assume that for those of you who are watching have not played the games, basically humanity is going through a really bad civil war where the rebel forces, which are these are all humans, is a threat to all of humanity because basically big government's taking over. They don't like it. The rebels are like, no, you can't take over, standard things. And so the government contracts a very intelligent scientist to create a new breed of human super soldiers called Spartans. They become the Spartan 2s because I know I played the games. There was a previous project called the Orion Project, Spartan 1s. And this is kind of the creation of the Spartans, their training, what they went through, and then their home planet, Reach, which is where the Spartans were trained, falling to the Covenant, the alien forces later on. And it kind of just goes into a lot of backstory about the Spartans, why they were created, who created them, and all of the circumstances surrounding their creation and how they were created for human rebels, like putting down human rebellions, and ended up being the best thing to take down a alien force coming in and trying to annihilate all of humanity. So that's what the first one is about. Fall of Reach, really great book. I really enjoyed it. Even if you've played the game, The Fall of Reach, I still highly recommend this book. The second book is basically, if you've played the first Halo game, it's kind of a repeat of that. It's they're coming off the heels of the Fall of Reach. They're trying to escape a giant battle. They come across this ring world, and they realize the ring world is a prison for a sentient alien species called the Flood that basically is a parasite that takes over your body and you become a zombie, basically, in a hive mind kind of works. And they realize that the Flood, basically, like, if they don't get rid of it or if they don't annihilate the Flood, all life forms in the entire universe are gonna suffer and stuff. And so that's kind of what the book is about, is basically Master Chief, the main character of the story, and Cortana, his AI that's in his brain. Kind of, not really, but Get it? It's kind of them figuring out, "Oh, this is what Halo is. Oh, this is what the Flood is. Oh, we're still fighting the Covenant at the same time that the Flood is trying to take over. We need to destroy this thing." And this Halo thing is supposed to eradicate all life in the universe, but also it's supposed to eradicate the Flood. What do we do? So that's kind of those first two books. And then the third one is Master Chief off the heels of the Halo ring escaping, realizing, oh, the Covenant have a giant plan to invade Earth. They've discovered Earth's location. They plan on taking a giant armada to Earth soon, but they're all docking at a specific space dock to get ready for the invasion. And Master Chief and his Spartans realize this plan. They go to destroy the space station. Dr. Halsey, which is the creator of the Spartan program, joins them after the fall of Reach. She finds out some cool information. She takes one of the Spartans with her on a secret mission while the others go and take down this giant armada of Covenant forces. They succeed because it's the first strike, because it's Master Chief and they always win. And we're kind of left in the dark of, okay, well, what happened after they took down the Covenant armada? What happened to Dr. Halsey and the Spartan she took with her? And that's kind of where it's left, on a cliffhanger like that. And then we get to this gem called Halo Ghosts of Onyx. And I've got to say, I really enjoyed this book. I think Ghosts of Onyx and First Strike are about neck and neck. I give this like a solid 8.5, 9 out of 10. Like, it's really, really great book. You're not following Master Chief. Like, Master Chief is only mentioned in this book. So if you are wanting a Halo book that doesn't talk about Master Chief and kind of talks about some of the other Spartans and what's going on with the Spartan 3s, this is the book for you. Basically, if you've played through the Halo games, you're aware of, like, there's Spartan 1s, the Orion Project, Spartan 2s, Master Chief and his group, Spartan 3s, and then later on Spartan 4s. Well, this book covers the creation and idea for the Spartan 3 program. So, like how the book The Fall of Reach was one of my favorites, how it talked about the Spartan 2 program, who created it, how are they made, how are they trained, and all of circumstances surrounding that. Ghost of Onyx does that for the Spartan 3 program. It's the creation story for the Spartan 3s. And if I know there's like a big debate about like which is better, Spartan 2s or Spartan 3s. I think they're both great and different for different reasons. We find out that the Spartan 3s are only bred for suicide missions. Spartan 2s are supposed to be the super soldier, the superhero, like get things done, make the impossible happen. Spartan 3s are supposed to do that, but also they only go on missions they know they're going to die in, which is like a weird dichotomy. It's like they're a super soldier, but dang, like the missions they go on are not fun, because that even the book opening is a group of 300 Spartan 3s taking on a Covenant fuel refinery on like a local moon or something on one of the planets. All but 2 of those 300 Spartans dies in that mission. And that's how the book opens, is these 300 Spartan 3s. Remember, these are Spartan 3s. So one of the other things to take in consideration, they don't have the same kind of armor that the Spartan 2s have. The Spartan 2s have like this, it's called Mjolnir armor. So referencing Thor and his hammer and all that. A lot of Norse mythology, a lot of Greek mythology in the Halo series, which I love. I love Greek mythology. So like I think that's one of the reasons why I've always really enjoyed the Halo series, is because, like, one, they're called Spartans. Greek history is where that's where I can just sink my teeth in and just read almost anything about the Greek culture, history, and philosophy, dichotomy, just anything about the Greek culture. That's where I shine. I love it so much. And they, like, one of the things in the book series is the Spartans learn about the Greek Spartans, the 300. So if any of you have seen the movie 300, you'll know that's based off of the 300 Spartans that went against Persian emperor or Persian king. I guess technically he was considered an emperor at that time because he had conquered most of the known world by then. Them taking on Xerxes' army, and they were able to hold off the Persians long enough for other Greek reinforcements to come in, but they all did die. And so that's kind of where the Spartans get their godlike status in a lot of people's minds, is just them being like bigger than life. And the idea of how the Spartans were raised is also, let me also hold on before I keep going. I'm realizing I want some music. Because yeah, realizing I keep forgetting to do that. So yeah, basically the Spartans are trained, like our Spartans in the Halo universe are trained the same way with modern, of course, modern updates. They're trained the same way the Spartans in ancient Greece were trained. They were taken from they were like 5 years old when they're taken and started their Spartan training. They're indoctrinated. They are groomed for battle. They are hardened warriors. And of course, with the modern enhancements in technology, they're able to basically make them a super soldier. And like they are super effective because they have enhanced sight, they have enhanced thought process, they have enhanced reflexes, and just muscle tissue. Like everything is giant and crazy strong about them. And that's kind of the idea of the Spartan 3 program, is to emulate that, but faster and cheaper. That's what we realized throughout this book is we have kind of, I don't even know if you'd call him the main antagonist because he doesn't like Dr. Halsey. He does this person. I'm not even going to say his name because it's not worth it. He always has despised Dr. Halsey's, I forget her name. Spartan 2s, because they are so much better than his ODST, which is the what are they called? Outer shock troop something. Basically they're shock troopers and they jump out of things, and they're part of the army, and he's in charge of that program, but he realizes the Spartans are way better than his shock troopers. Which is funny. And so he's like, well, I'm just gonna make my own Spartans then. And that's kind of what he does. He's like, I'm gonna make the Spartans cheaper and more of them without the same parameters, because some of the parameters that the Spartan 2s had to undergo was their specific genetic markers that they are supposed to meet in order to become Spartan 2s. In the Spartan 3 program, they lacks a lot of those genetic markers because the technology has evolved and has updated, and they're able to kind of counteract some of the negative genetic markers that the Spartan 2 program was not able to counteract yet. But also they don't have as great armor. Their armor is very cheaply made. So like the Spartan 2s are like Greek gods, and Spartan 3s, they're Greek gods and paper mache armor. It's no comparison, really. I mean, the thought process and the training is very similar, but a lot of the other things surrounding the Spartan 3 program was just not done well, in my opinion. Honor is overrated. Especially in the Halo book series, man. Like part of the problem with the Halo 3 or the Spartan 3 program is that yes, they were taken at the same age as the Spartan 2s, but they were forced to grow up faster. Like the Spartan 2s, I think, had their augmentations at like 18. Spartan 3s had them at like 12. And so like these 12-year-olds are like giant human beings with enhanced strength, enhanced bone structure, enhanced mental, like cognitive thinking skills, and they're 12, man. Like it's crazy to think about when as far as like eugenics and genetics, like genetic research, like how far away is the Halo universe? Because in the Halo books, it takes place at 2,500 years, so 2,500. So we're at 2023. What would that be like in 2025? When this book more or less kind of like the book series takes place. I mean, that'd be so cool, but also like, what would you have to undergo for that? So that's, I don't know. Those are questions that hopefully, like most of the time the reader is like, I don't know if I agree with this, but I also know that without the Spartan program, all of humanity would be dead. So a lot, like, of course, throughout all of the Halo series, the main question is, does the greater good outweigh, or do the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few? Is it right to do bad things for the greater good? Do the bad things you have to do condone the good things that the other things are going to bring about? Like basically abducting children and indoctrinating them and making them super soldiers at the age of 12 and sending them off basically to go die. But humanity as a whole will be saved. I know a lot of people will probably be like, yeah, it's worth it. And then other people will be like, let humanity burn. I don't know. I think I'm somewhere in the middle where I understand the reason for it, but it doesn't mean I like it or agree with it. And that's kind of the overarching like theme is there are some people in the book who at one point in time they're like, yes, the greater good outweighs the needs of the few. But then they change their mind, namely Dr. Hawsley. She's the one who created the Spartan 2 program. And like throughout this book, she's like, I've made a mistake. I need to protect these Spartans. I need to protect my kids because like this is not okay. Like they're dying and they're being like, what was the word she used? They're basically slaves, and it's not fair because they didn't choose this. We chose this for them, and now they don't know anything else, and it's my fault. And so she's dealing with a lot of guilt, a lot of regret. But I don't know. That's just like her little side story of like you get to see her thought process of like, I've made a mistake. I shouldn't have done this. But if I hadn't done this, humanity would already be dead. And she's like, I don't know. This is not okay. I shouldn't have done this. So kind of like brief overview, like just kind of like a 70,000 look view of the book overall. Like more or less, like I said, the story starts out with a group of Spartan 3s going to a fuel refining depot, and basically 300 Spartans are taken out where there's only like 2 left of that mission. And that's the opening. That's the first glimpse we get to at this point of Spartan 3s, because in the first 3 books it's all about the Spartan 2s, and now we're like, oh, okay, Spartan 3s, there's 300 of them Spartans, and they just got annihilated. And then you realize, like, it kind of flashes back to Lieutenant Kurt. No, that's the Spartan 2. My bad. Ackerson. Oh yeah, Ackerson. Basically, after the battle, we flash back to like, I don't know, like 10 years or so, roughly 10, 15 years. To Colonel whatever his face is like going to the higher ups and saying, hey, I think we need more Spartans, but I can make them cheaper. I can make them faster, and they'll be just as effective. But we're basically just going to send the like cannon fodder. Like we're just going to overwhelm the enemy with numbers. And the higher ups at the, ONI, which is this kind of the spy secret ops organization's like, okay, we'll do it. And so basically he makes a plan to kidnap one of the Spartan 2s, Kurt, to help train the Spartan 3s, and also one of the other officers who helped train the Spartan 2s originally. He's also recruited him for the Spartan 3 program. And they found a planet that's basically not been inhabited. It's off everyone's radars. It's completely secret. And that's where they are going to go train the Spartan 3s. And that's kind of where the story starts. It's like, okay, we're thrust into hundreds of Spartans just needlessly dying, and the reason behind their needlessly dying is they didn't have the best equipment. Like, plain and simple, he's making Spartans faster and cheaper, which unfortunately means children, like 12-year-old, like some of these Spartans who were in this combat situation were 12. That opening was like, I mean, it's not like the most rough thing that I've ever read, but I was like, dang, Spartans. But they accomplished their mission, and that was the objective. So also, like, we also get kind of viewpoint of the Spartan 3s getting their augmentations as well, but there's a little bit of a different type of augmentation, and that's because Kurt, the Spartan 2 in charge of training the Spartan 3s, is like, I'm going to give them an edge because no one else is giving them an edge. They're going through all of this crap, getting crappy armor, getting crappy everything else. I'm going to get, like, he basically was like, I'm going to give them an edge, which was an experimental concoction of drugs that's supposed to make them more aggressive. So basically he's like, okay, if you're not going to have the best armor, I'm going to make you more aggressive and make you even tougher to kill. And so that's kind of like his I guess, contribution to the Spartan 3s, because he starts feeling the same way as Dr. Halsey, because he's like, what are we doing? These are kids. Like, this is not okay. And you get his like side of things, him being a Spartan too. So him going through all of the things that he's already gone through, and then he's forced to train other Spartans. And so you get to see things from his point of view of, well, I know we need them, but man, is this right? Should we be doing this? And kind of getting that like, get just completely different perspective than the other 3 books, because most people are like, Master Chief, loving only talking about Master Chief, where in this story we really kind of go through Kurt, which is a Spartan 2 who was on Master Chief's team at one point in time, his perspective on things and how he thinks about the Spartans and how he thinks about the different responsibilities of, are we responsible to humanity's survival, or should I keep my Spartan 3s like safe, and they've already been through so much and they're just gonna go die needlessly. So let me see what else. So during training at one point in time, kind of the catalyst for the rest of the book is during a training op, some Spartan 3s went missing in an area called Zone 67, and that area was zoned off for a few years, and then all of a sudden during a training exercise for the Spartan 3s before the next batch of Spartan 3s, so the first 300 batch gone, they're doing another 300 batch, so they're doing this like 300 batches. I wonder why 300. 300 Spartans. Yeah. That's not on the nose at all. So they are on a training exercise, and then all of a sudden these drones just pop up out of nowhere and start attacking the Spartans and start attacking the entire world. And so they're just like, what the heck's going on? What's happened? But also during that time, if any of you are familiar with the games, which I really like, where it kind of shows you where the Spartan 3s are in reference to the bigger picture. I like that stuff. I like knowing what's going on at the same time that this is going on. Apparently this is the point, if you've played the games, I think this is in Halo 2. I think it's 2. It's either 2 or 3. Basically the Covenant civil war has started, and a second Halo ring has been found, and the Flood is starting to win, and the Covenant is kind of just all in shambles. And this is when Cortana sends a distress signal out, like Cortana and Master Chief send out a distress signal saying, we found another Halo ring. The Covenant is here. We're all gonna die. Please send help. But then also Dr. Halsey gets that same message. Well, backtracking. So all that's going on. Dr. Halsey, doing her side quest from the previous book, finds out about the Spartan 3 program, takes her Spartan 2 that she kidnapped to the planet where the Spartan 3s are, and it's like, oh, well, looks like they're in trouble and they need help. So they decide to help, but during the same time that Master Chief and Cortana send out a distress signal, Dr. Halsey sends out a distress signal saying this planet Onyx is under attack. We have Forerunner technology, and Forerunner technology is basically what the Halo creators were. Forerunners are what the race of beings that created the Halo system are. Super technologically advanced, super smart, super just amazing. All of the amazing things. And she sends out the signal saying, we found Forerunner technology. It could help turn the tide of the war. Send Spartans. And so that's kind of in the book where it's like, okay, the basically, meanwhile, all that's going on, the Covenant did invade Earth, but they have been pushed back by the Spartans. And so this is also like the Covenant Civil War has just started as well. So Covenant are fighting each other. The humans are fighting the Covenant. The Flood is here. So it's just like all crazy kinds of mess. And thankfully, because Earth has been able to push back the Covenant, one of the operatives or one of the main higher ups is like, okay, send the Spartan team to Onyx, which is the planet that the Spartan 3s are being trained on. And so that's kind of where we kind of go into Spartan 2 territory, where they kind of do some flashbacks and talk about like, I wonder if any of the other Spartan 2s are alive. I miss Kurt because he's thought to be dead because he was kidnapped. And so a couple of people from Blue Team, which was if you've read us talking about the third book, the First Strike, Blue Team is Master Chief's team. He's kind of their leader, but Blue Team is his team. And so they are sent to Onyx to aid the Spartan 3s and aid Dr. Halsey and aid all of, Kurt and everyone there to try and help keep the planet, with that from destroying everything on there. During all of that, the Covenant realize about planet Onyx, and they also show up. And so it's just a big battle of like, oh my god, are we gonna win? How are we gonna get off this planet? What are we gonna do? And of course, if you've played the game, meanwhile, Master Chief and Cortana are probably in the clutches of the hive mind and on Halo D, I think. And that's when the Arbiter and Master Chief are like, we need to work together. Yeah, because this thing's going to destroy everything. Well, why are we working with the Flood? And the Flood's like, I don't want to get destroyed either. And it's like, let's work together. But of course, there's backstabbing later on. If you've played the game, you know what I'm talking about. So all of that like is going, which the book doesn't really talk about. Like the book does not talk about the game like really at all, besides that little distress signal and like, where's John? Is John alive? Which is Master Chief. And I like that. I really like that. I know some other people really don't like it or like stuff like that because it doesn't give you a context into into the main character of the Halo stories, which is Master Chief. It's like, well, he's just mentioned. He's not even in the book. It's like, that's okay. We get a lot of him in the first few games. I'm okay with this. The books are supposed to amplify the games, so I'm good with that. So of course the Spartan 2s get there. They're like, oh my gosh, there are more Spartans, but you're not like us. And the Spartan 3s are like, I don't like you either. And so there's kind of like this tension there, but thankfully they're able to basically work through their differences and work together to find kind of an escape. It's not really an escape from planet Onyx. They're just like taken into an inner room in the planet Onyx, which honestly is found out to not really even be a actual normal planet. It's a planet full of the Sentinels and the drones that are attacking them. The planet is completely comprised of these drones because it's supposed to protect the inhabitants of that planet from the Halo ring destroying all of creation. And so that's something that they find out on their end, and we get a little bit of snippets from the game, like kind of understanding where the book kind of is in reference to, like, relative to where the game is at some point in time, which is really fun. I really enjoyed it overall. Which I also think was funny because, like, the Sentinels also destroyed the Covenant, because, like, basically we realized that the Sentinels were activated because of the destruction of the first Halo ring. And so that's why all of a sudden the Sentinels, like, after 20 years of doing nothing, are like, we must kill everything, all of the things. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff, a lot of moving parts. I really enjoyed how the book kind of put everything in perspective. It tied some loose ends up on some of the other Halo books. I think it did it really nicely. It gave you some backstory. It gave you some references to the other books and kind of what's happening in the wider, galaxy. We get a little bit of the Covenant inner workings with some of. So I think we follow a couple of different ship captains while they're like, oh my gosh, the Covenant is in turmoil, like, we're having a civil war. What side do we join? Who started the civil war? Why is there a civil war? What's going on? Where are our leaders? Which I enjoyed that. Like, I don't think we needed a whole bunch of Covenant story going on. Like, I'm perfectly fine with just the little paragraphs or two of, well, this person, did this with these this fleet of ships. So yeah, I give the book about an 8.5, 9. Like, I really enjoyed it. I think I like it just about as much as I like First Strike. So highly recommend the book. All right, so we are now going to switch gears for a second. Going to open up the article that Salty sent me. See if we can't talk about the War of the Rohirrim. Okay. Making sure I'm not missing anything. Yeah, I think that's... Yep, there we go. All right, switching this over. And also, like, if you guys haven't played the games, you should play the games and read the books. I recommend both. Let me see that. There we go. All right. Warner Brothers Animation shares first footage from Lord of the Rings: War of the Rohirrim. Let me stop the music because I want to be completely focused. Warner Brothers Animation shares first footage from Lord of the Rings: War of the Rohirrim. See, I like that. They don't say the whole, like, Lord of the Rings. They just, yeah. But maybe that could just be bounding or not. Is this bounding? No. Perhaps one of the buzziest event. Perhaps one of the buzziest event. I forgot the S. At the festival, the presentation for Lord of the Rings: War of the Rohirrim stressed the scale of its undertaking. And for any of you who is wondering what this is, it's an animated movie that is going to be based off of the Rohirrim, off of Helm Hammerhand. If you guys remember Helm's Deep in the movies, Helm Hammerhand is the one credited with creating that. And it's kind of his story and what's going on surrounding the circumstances of his reign as king in the Rohirrim and Rohan. Marrying the immense detail and Western aesthetics of J.R. Tolkien's fantasy series with the Eastern aesthetics of anime, as director Kenji Ghost in the Shell standalone complex. Okay, because, like, Ghost in the Shell was really good. Produced by James DeMarco, SVP of Action and Anime at Warner Brothers Discovery, and executive produced by Philippa Boyens and co-writer on the original trilogy. The film is intended as a standalone, a tragedy lost to time and separate from The Ring or Sauron. Okay. The nature of that story is reflected in the source material, just a few passages from Appendix A of The Lord of the Rings, specifically its section on the House of Eorl. Why can I never say his name? It's set during the reign of Helm Hammerhand, voiced by Brian Cox, a king of Rohan who built Helm's Deep, the famous location from The Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers, a Session? Yeah. Moderated by DeMarco, provided more artwork and detail. 4 things we learned. The story is about the wreckage of war. The team. Okay. The wreckage of war. Interesting. Okay. I think I get what they're going to be doing. Oh no. The team was pretty happy to give away plot details. Why? Speaking candidly about its tragedy, it's all in the text after all. Moyens called War of the Rohirrim a story about the wreckage of war. She also teased the film's front-heavy structure in which one of the biggest battles comes at the end of the first arc. And then where do you go? No! Battle should be at the end. That should be the climax. Should be the it. The answer was one that she said, whatever that name has helped to shape, and it's become, and as it becomes a story about supernatural grief, that becomes akin to a ghost story. Notice the main character, which Tolkien never named because she was. Oh no. No, no, no. War of the Rohirrim will be seen through the eyes of a mostly unknown character. Though Helm Hammerhand, the creator of the fortress Helm's Deep, will be a familiar one to Lord of the Rings fans, the film's protagonist will be lesser known. One who, until this point, is only called Helm's daughter in Tolkien's appendices. Oh no! Oh no! One of the reasons why they chose Hera, voiced by Gaia Wise, for the film's subjective perspective was a pragmatic one. Everyone else died. Oyman said, but also because they felt Hera was a more interesting figure to follow through a feudal patriarchal warrior culture. No, no, no. And as a figure who only vaguely exists in the text with the character's portrayal, the team stressed a combination of vulnerability and hardiness, and that they didn't want her to be a standard issue warrior princess. No, 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 no. I had such high hopes for you. You were a director and Ghost in the Shell. What? And she's a no, no, no. They filled in the gaps by what gaps? It's a blank. Oh my god. That's why they chose her, because she's a blank canvas. Oh no. No. I had hopes. I had high hopes for this. No. They filled in the gaps by going back to what they interpreted as Tolkien's own influences for the Rohan. In early Anglo-Saxons, Hera herself is depicted by, wow, that's a name, Lady of the Mercians? A similarly buried figure in English history. Other characters were more defined by Tolkien's text, such as the main antagonist Wolf, but the team still put their own visual spin on him. He does pretty bad things, so he better be someone beautiful. Comment relating the feedback from his design team. I mean, from someone who worked on Ghost in the Shell, I can see that. I can see where he thinks that. Ask Purple about that English figure. She knows all about her. Huh. I will do that. So, like, I can understand what him saying that the antagonist should be beautiful, because bad things look good for a lot of people. But this statement worries me because of the context of the world that we're living in right now, where they are trying to make the antagonists relatable and look good to the audience. Like, not look good, but they want a sympathetic bad guy in this modern day and age. And this, what he's saying to me, has all of the markers of this is going to be a sympathetic villain, which, if it is, I'm going to be really disappointed in this director, because Ghost in the Shell is a near masterpiece. This worries me. The film will return to several familiar locations from Peter Jackson's trilogy. I remember when villains were just, well, villains. Right, Boba? Right. I was so excited. Like, y'all don't understand. I was so hopeful because I was like, anime is doing well. Animators know what they're doing. Like, the Japanese know what they're doing. And he's like, he worked on the Ghost of the Shell. That's a great anime. I love it. A Japanese inspired ghost story with a feminist made up character made up around Helm Hammerhand, written by Boyan's daughter. The film will return to several familiar locations, right? Set roughly 200 years prior, the team had to figure out how both create visual consistency with the film series while reimagining what these places would look like. It's all right, Salty. I'm a bigot too. To do so, they consulted Weta Workshop. Weta. Pulling old CG models of the locations from their archives, as well as consulting with designer David Faulkner. Also working on the film at a concept and design level are John Howie and Alan Lee, illustrator who worked as concept designers on Boyan. Spoke of her desire for more realistic style of animation, but also questioned simply slotting the characters we already knew into a new medium. So the team worked on a balance between visual consistency and creating something that felt unique. Himself feels like a visual basis for this on a character level, embracing a highly detailed art style with a bend towards realism. Apparently people can't just be evil. Everyone is apparently good despite their actions resulting in suffering for those involved. Yeah, Boba. This really bothers me. Because this shouldn't be bad. There's nothing about this that should be bad. They don't, like, War of the Rohirrim is supposed to be out, like, it. I got one image. Why? You know why. Because then again, that's what happens when you try to blur the lines of good and evil. There's just no more line. Yup. I mean, I think that art style looks cool. Sure. I think it would look cool. This movie should have been the events leading up to the war, and then the war should have been the high point, the highest point, and maybe 15-20 minutes of aftermath, like kind of what happened, a little bit of what happened afterward. I want this to be good. I need this to be good. Will it be? Odds not looking good for that. F knows. Horses were among the team's biggest challenge to animate. One of the biggest challenges came simply from the nature of the The Rohirrim. The Rohirrim. Don't say of the Rohan. Rohirrim. You. Whoever wrote this article, I need you to understand that you messed up. From the nature of the Rohirrim themselves as horse lords and the sheer number that the team would have to draw, and even just drawing one is Joseph Chow trailed off. To remedy this, the animation crew was sent to a horse farm to film it, experience it, be scared before using CG animation as placeholders and Unreal Engine to simulate scenes and experiment with the different camera angles. Before using hand-drawn animation for the final result, similar methods were used for human characters using a combination of CGI models, live-action reference, and real-time simulation for the animators to interpret, but not to rotoscope, they stressed. Okay, I this makes me happy that they actually took the time for their creators to go see how a horse actually behaves and then create based off of that. I think that's a good move to do. I think more people should actually take that much time into this. So I think that they're going to work hard on this. I just hope, like, if everything else looks good, if everything else sounds good, but it's not written well, that's what's good. I think that this possibly could look really good and be really good if the writing holds up. Which right now I don't think the writing's going to hold up. 2 exclusive clips showing rough animation were shown to showed how these methods worked in concert. The film leans into visual familiarity to start with traditional Lord of the Rings voiceover and a shot of a weathered map before moving into camera work emulating Jackson's sense of scale and reverence for the mountainous landscape as Hera rides a horse through rocky hills. The second sequence was more subdued, but also busy, full of characters talking in the halls of Edoras, with some of the aforementioned placeholders. Kamiya said that the project was one of his largest ever undertakings, and in the moment, as though to sympathize, the laptop showing the presentation on it displayed low battery. The resultant work seems full of visceral detail. The quick and intense promo that closed out the presentation laced with flashes of dismembered limbs and arrow wounds, and of course, plenty of hand-drawn horses. Oh. That's what we're given. Let's see if we can blow that up. I hope it's good. I really hope it's good. Because if it's not, that's it. We're gonna lose a lot of there's gonna be hell to pay. I'm beyond upset. The only hope that I can think of for this, the only thing I can think of I'm hoping So this is gonna be basically like the only thing I can probably like help you guys understand what it's gonna be like. It's gonna be Lord of the Rings through Eowyn's eyes. I feel like that's what's gonna basically it's gonna be like. Is we're gonna follow Eowyn and see all of the events of the War of the Rohirrim through her eyes. I wonder if she's probably gonna fight in the war. She's gonna girl boss it. She's gonna. I'm not no man. I bet we're gonna get some shots of something of Legolas or what young Legolas is doing, or what young Aragorn. Well, no, he won't be alive by then. Yeah, he's got at least 100 something more years before he's alive. I mean, technically, if they don't break canon, like, because as far as like what the article has said, so like right now, they haven't technically broken canon. They have the rights to the appendices. They don't have a name for the Orl's Jarl. I'm just gonna say Jarl's daughter. So they can have some creative liberties with that. I can see that. I just opening up with the battle, like the battle should be the high point of the movie. It shouldn't be the part of the movie that kind of happens first, unless, like, I mean, sorry, my thoughts are all kind of jumbled because I was actually like this kind of caught me off guard because I was hoping that this was actually going to be pretty good. I mean, they like overall, like this is still better than Rings of Power because they are not they are completely honest with where they're getting their source material from. Yeah. And this is me putting on my optimism cap. Uh just optimism just hopefully flows out for for a couple minutes. It's already done better than Rings of Power because they were honest about where they're getting their source material from. The appendices, they never once said that they were getting it from Silmarillion, Unfinished Tales. Like they were like, we are getting our material from the appendices, Helm Hammerhand. We know the basic understanding of what happened surrounding Helm Hammerhand and the circumstances. His story hasn't really been told in detail and in depth. We have a lot of room to play with. Already just by that standard alone, it's going to be better than Rings of Power, in my opinion. I think it's already going to be better than Rings of Power just from that alone. I mean, the only thing I can think of with them saying, like with the aftermath of war is I believe what's going to happen is we're going to have Girl Boss. She's going to, want to fight in the war. She probably will fight in the war, or we'll see some footage of the war happening. She's going to see her father die. Oh, she's going to have horrible, PTSD from her dad dying. And the throne is probably going to be like there's going to be a Game of Thrones type thing where the Helm Hammerhand's seat is open and she's going to try and take the throne because it's her right, or she's going to have to fight for the throne with maybe a cousin or something, and just kind of understanding the devastation of after the war, like Rohan just trying to piece itself back together, and just a lot of very chaotic, maybe bands of bandits trying to, maybe some orcs try and take advantage of the situation. I think it's going to be very chaotic. we're gonna follow her bid for the throne. My dead houseplant is better than Rings of Power. You know what? I agree. My dead houseplant is also better than Rings of Power. They're going to go against Tolkien canon by destroying Edoras. Yeah. Yeah. I'm trying to be positive here, Salty. Gosh dang it. I mean, it could be an interesting story if done well. It could be interesting seeing who, who takes the throne after Helm, which is probably going to be his daughter. What's up, Emperor Doomsday? We are talking we have moved on from the Halo talk, and we were talking about the War of the Rohirrim a little bit. Because we've got some information about that, and it's basically gonna be, we're gonna go through the eyes of Girl Boss and see everything through Girl Boss's eyes on the War of the Rohirrim, where her father's gonna pass away, and she's gonna be disheartened. She's gonna say, "I'm going to avenge my father." Ugh. I want this to be good, but not a violence saga knock off with girl power men bad BS. Yeah. Yup. Yeah. I mean, the artwork looks like it could be good. I think that they did a really good they're going in the right direction by having the artists go out and film horses, because Rohan is were horses, like they are horse people. So them realizing they need to get better at animating horses, because this is going to be an animated movie. It's going to be a movie. So I understand they're working within a time constraint, but the thing that really bothers me is the war takes place like sooner than it should. It takes place like closer to the middle, like beginning slash middle of the film. And we're basically going to see all of the I imagine that we'll actually have the war film taking place probably within the first 15 to 20 minutes of the movie, and then we're going to just see all of the aftermath of the war. Like I imagine they're going to be fighting with the Aorlings. And if you don't know who those are kind of like the humans that were there first, and Rohan kind of kicked them out, and just kind of this civil war between them. That's why that's about the War of the Rohirrim, or the aftermath of the Aorlings attacking Rohan and the Rohirrim citizens. And 2 hour at 10 minute. Yeah. I just the main part that concerns me is basically that we're going to be seeing the world through the eyes of Helm Hammerhand's daughter, who was not named in the appendices, but now she has a name, and she's going to be the main character of this movie. Which, it like, if they Rey Skywalker or if they Rey Palpatine this, I'm going to be really upset. I mean, the same director that worked on Ghost in the Shell is working on this too, which I really hope that gives me hope. That gives me something to like. I hope he doesn't let them trash this. But just from the article we just read, like, it's looking grim, guys. It's looking grim. But I'm holding out hope. I really am. Because it has the potential to shut down Rings of Power. Even if it's not as good as Jackson's film trilogy, which it won't be. Like, let's be honest. Like, just with the article we just read, it probably won't be. But it has a chance to show up Rings of Power, and I hope it does. I hope it does. I hope that Rings of Power is basically annihilated because of this movie. Which I hope the movie is really good and going to be worth it. But if it's just meh, it's still going to be better than Rings of Power, and I will support a move in the right direction. If nothing else, if it's trashy trash, like if it's just horrible, I'll call it out. I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna watch the movie for sure, and I'll call it out. If it's trash, I'm gonna let y'all know it's trash. If it's good, I'll let you know if it's good. I'm hoping, like, fingers crossed, y'all, that it might have some cringy stuff because this is just the world that we live in today, that they can't make a movie without putting political BS in there. But if I can get past it, it's gonna be the hope. I hope I can get past the cringiness of women power. And I'm a woman, and I'm tired of seeing like all these strong women that have no flaws. Like, give me a flaw, give me something that I can work towards, give me something that, like, I'm not perfect, no woman is perfect, let us fail, let us get back up. The hero's journey. You do good, you fail, you get back up and do better. That is the hero's journey. And a lot of shows and movies nowadays just take out the hero's journey. It's like, oh, they're the bestest ever. That's not what I like to see. Oh, I'm trying to. We're about to dive into some other trashiness. I haven't seen the Flash movie. Who all in the chat has seen the Flash movie? Because I have not. And I'm about to read an article that kind of talks about it. Do better, Senator. Yes, that's right. Do better, Senator. I'm probably going to watch it when it goes on when it probably gets on Disney Plus or something. That's not Disney Plus. When it gets on HBO. Marvel. DC. Yeah. Because, yeah. Apparently the CGI was bad. That's all that I can get out of this article is the CGI was bad. So, let's talk about it. Let's talk about this bad CGI. The Flash director, I'm going to say Mussolini. Hell no on the Mad Goose Child Grooming Wizard movie. Yeesh. Okay. The Andy Mussolini claims film's terrible CGI was intentional, meant to put audiences in the perspective of the Scarlet Speeder. Okay. Granted, I have not watched this movie. I don't plan on watching this movie for a while. I'm still reading this article because you could already tell the CGI was bad just in the trailers. As theatrical audiences and social media users have begun to experience the horrors of the Flash's awful CGI face-to-face uncanny valley face, director Annie, whatever his name is, has claimed that the film's poor graphical quality was an intentional creative choice meant to show audiences how the world looks from the Speed Force doused perspective of its titular hero. Wow. I need to get the fail button on my stream deck because that's just wah wah wah. Okay. Mm-hmm. From an opening sequence featuring a number of infants that look as if they were ripped straight from Ally McBeal to PlayStation 2 level renders of Barry Allen's friends and family within the Speed Force to the awful digital necromancy performed on both Christopher Reeve and George Reeves. The Flash stands as a prime example of how the execution of CGI can go horribly, horribly wrong. You know what? I don't think I want to read more. For example, remember the widely mocked floating head scene in Lord Love and Thunder? Well, the Flash not only employs a similar technique to have Barry pop out of the Speed Force at various intervals throughout time, but they use it multiple times, each appearance looking worse than the last. It kind of looks like Geralt. The braids. Oh my god. What the hell is that? Oh my, yeah, no. I don't want spoilers. I don't want spoilers. Nope. I'm done. Holy Hannah. Nope. That was- yeah, I'll save that for next week. Because I'll hopefully have seen the movie. Not hopefully. I'll have probably seen the movie by then. Okay. Wow. Hey, what's important with a movie studio is the diversity represents and stuff, not the movies they make. Right? The bad CGI was intentional and they reshot the movie 4 times. Yee. Wow. Okay. Um I need to ask Wicked what she thought of the movie because she was excited for Batman. God, that's wow. DC, why are you copying Marvel? Marvel's not doing wow. Okay. That's funny. That's real funny. All right, let's talk about Spider-Man. I had this just in case. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse writers Phil Lord and Christopher Miller push back against superhero fatigue theory, and the audiences in the theater cannot be sustained on Easter eggs and reveals. Oh my. While many have taken to arguing that big budget superhero films have begun to lose steam at the box office due to superhero fatigue, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse scribes Phil Lord and Christopher Miller have instead argued that the real culprit is the fact that studios have begun to care more about Easter eggs and reveals than providing audiences with a solid story. You're not completely wrong. I mean, you're right. It's right. Like they need to provide solid stories. Like that's what's going to bring in this. Yeah, because I think Across the Spider-Verse did actually pretty good in the box office. I don't know. Lord and Miller weighed in on the ongoing superhero fatigue debate during an interview given to Rolling Stones that reflected Across the Spider-Verse's development process. Making note of the film's phenomenal success. According to film performance tracker, the numbers, Miles Morales' latest adventure has thus far pulled in four, that's not billion, right? That's 400,000. There we go. Yes, worldwide in the roughly 2 weeks since its release. The magazine's Brian Hyatt eventually asked the directional duo, there is, of course, talk of superhero fatigue out there too, but you've clearly evaded that. What's the secret there? To which Miller pushed back. I don't believe it's superhero fatigue. I believe it's a movie that feels like a movie I've seen a dozen times before. Fatigue. What's up, Charlie? DC copied Marvel because there's no more original ideas in Hollywood. Yeah, that you got me there. Charlie. If you're using the same story structure and the same style and the same tone and the same vibe as movies and shows that have come before, it doesn't matter what genre it is, he explained. It's going to be boring to people. I agree. And the audience in the theater cannot be sustained on Easter eggs and reveals, added Lord, or even these big, crazy multiverse stakes. They only care about like the relationship between Rocket Raccoon and Groot. He's not wrong. But you don't make a movie about the relationship between Rocket Raccoon and Groot, though. That's you're missing the point. Like we don't only care about the relationship between characters. That's a big part of it, but there also needs to be a plot. There needs to be sound writing. There needs to be a clear plot. There needs to be a clear good guy and bad guy. There needs to be clear growth. The forced ESG messaging and intersectional BS is what drove the audience away. Yeah, agreed. Like, if you made a story for the sake of making a story and you made it good, audiences will come. It doesn't matter if it's a superhero story or just some dude who got teleported into a different alternate universe where people are rats. I don't know. I'm just making that up. Like, yeah, Easter eggs, like, for sure are not gonna, like, if the story writing is bad and you only have Easter eggs, that's not enough to hold an audience for more than 5 minutes. Turning the conversation back across the Spider-Verse, specifically Lord further detailed, and so this story is just so rooted in parents and kids and Miles and his family values. Those went out of style in 2016. Not really. More like 2020. Well, 2016. I'd say probably before then, but yeah. With the last movie, we showed it to some friends early on. They were like, you have to get like all these multiple spider people as quickly as possible. That's the exciting thing, he recalled. And we were like, we don't think so, because the thing that everybody seems to enjoy is the quieter scenes with Miles and his mom and dad. They can't get enough of it. And I'm so glad we stayed true to what the audience was telling us. I mean, if that's what your audience is telling you, do what your audience is telling you. That's the thing. If the audience is telling you your movie sucks, find out why and fix it. Modern movies are like an empty pizza box. You open it and are disappointed. Yeah. I mean, the box can look really pretty, but if there's nothing in the box, it's still a disappointment. In turn, Hyatt noted how James Gunn gave a very similar answer about all this. So I think you're on the same page there, prompting Lord to praise. Yeah, he's so great at that. In the Guardians of the Galaxy trilogy, you feel like these misfits have found their family. The director elaborated, and that's what you're watching, and that's why these movies are beloved. That's some of it. Yeah. Strong family values are still popular. That's crazy. I was told that family values were no longer in and hip. Good guys versus bad guys. Good versus evil. That's outdated and not fun to watch. Says who? As referenced by Hyatt, the current co-head of DC Studios offered this very similar answer during an appearance on the June 13th episode of Smallville and Justice League Unlimited. Star Michael Robbins, I can never say his name, Inside of You with Michael Rosenbaum podcast. Asked by the former Lex Luthor actor if he thought there are too many superhero shows and movies gonna opinioned? Yeah, I do think there's too many, but I don't think I don't think it's not. It's not. It's much less a problem of too many, he explained. And yes, we are not going to overextend ourselves at DC. We're going to be careful with the product that we put out and making sure everything is as good as it can possibly be. Really? That Flash movie didn't seem to do that. I think that's what's happened. I think that's what happened is people have gotten really lazy with their superhero stories, and they've gotten to the place where, oh, it's a superhero, let's make a movie about it. The Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 director explained, and let's make a sequel because the first one did pretty well. And they aren't thinking about why is the story special? What makes this story stand apart from the other stories? What is the story at the heart of it all? Why is this character important? What makes this story different? That it fills a need for people in theaters to go see or on television. I think he gets it. And I think that people have gotten a little lazy. A little, he reiterated, and there's a lot of biff power bam stuff happening in movies. Like I'm watching third acts of superhero films where I really just don't feel like there's a rhyme or a reason to what's happening. I don't care about these characters. Wow, it's like these bigots are watching Nerdrotic and Friday Night Tights. Wow. Letting his opinion flow, gone further declared, and they've gotten too generic. There's this sort of middle of the road type of genre tone that so many superhero movies, as opposed to having very different genres, he told Rosenbaum. I like very serious superhero movies. I like very comedic superhero movies. I like ones that are really just a murder mystery, but it's with superheroes. I like to see these different types of stories as opposed to seeing the same story told over and over again. This guy gets it. Yeesh. Addressing the idea of superhero fatigue, specifically, Gunn then asserted then people say superhero fatigue. I think that you see now that it's not a real thing. People are fatigued with repetition, and I don't think it's really just superhero movies. I think you're seeing it happening now. It's spectacle films, spectacle films in general. Agreed. But there's a lot of spectacle films made that they just have gotten really generic. He criticized. Are we staying on topic today, or can we go down any weird side road? I'm kind of staying on topic today. We went through the Halo book. We talked about the War of the Rohirrim, and now we've talked a little bit about superhero stuff. So, I mean, if you're gonna joke, you could joke. That's fine. Doesn't mean I'll read it though. Where was I? They've gotten boring, and they aren't about characters, and there's no emotion to them. There should be emotion in things, no matter. That should always be there. Some type of emotion. I'm not saying it can't be really light. I'm not saying it can't be really heavy. I'm saying there should be some sort of emotion. Yeah. Maybe they paid for a ticket and felt like they threw away their money. Right? Huh. Go away. Yeesh. So yeah, basically, we just read an article about superhero fatigue is not the real issue. It's just fatigue in general for seeing the same thing over and over and over and over again. That's an open invitation to me. Should I start? Wow. Wow. I don't want to talk about him again. So yeah, what do you guys think? Do you think that the article is correct, that it's not superhero specific fatigue, it is just fatigue of the same boring story over and over and over again, maybe just with some different colors splashed on it? I mean, I agree. Like I'm fine with seeing a superhero movie or TV series if the writing is good and I care about the characters. Like if the writing is bad and the characters are blah, like I'm not gonna watch it. Like even if it has Superman, I'm not gonna watch it if it's just, oh, Superman, saved a kitten out of a tree. Again. Oh, that's okay. That's interesting. Yep. Is there any good or bad thing? Like, well, he saved a kitten. Like, okay. Anything else? Nope. Okay. Quality is important. Yep. Let's be honest, there isn't Star Wars or superhero fatigue. It's all garbage, pandering agenda, story fatigue. Yeah, that's it. And that's kind of what the article is mostly touching on, is people are just tired of trash stories. People are tired of member berries, like the jangling of the keys. Like, these aren't great keys, but jangling of the keys. Like, oh, look, remember him, remember that person. Oh, we're gonna have Batman in this Flash movie. Oh, we're gonna have super somebody in this movie. Oh, look, we've got a cameo of Deadpool or X-Men, or we've got cameos. Oh, looky there. That can hold someone's attention for 5 minutes, not for 3 to 4 hours, which is how long most of these movies are now. You can't expect people to sit and watch a 3-hour long movie about nothing, except for this woman who is of color being the bestest ever and just solving all of the things without any issue. There's no character development. There's no reason you should care about these characters. Like a lot of these, because they've been made villains super sympathetic. We care more about the villain than we do about the hero. And I think that's on purpose. I think that's what a lot of Hollywood wants is they want the villains to win because they are the villains. Who said that? Who said that? I mean, that's just my opinion. I think that they want to see themselves on screen and they see themselves as the villain. So they want the villain to be likable. I don't know. Could be a subconscious thing that they're not intentionally trying to do. Unearned skill and glory. Yep. I agree. They want to be the bestest without trying. That's what participation trophies will do to you. Nostalgia is being driven into the ground. We like it when it happens randomly, but saturated and knowing it's coming all the time. Yeah. Yeah. It gets old and boring. Like, sure, nostalgia is great. Like, if you do it well, if you honor the source material, if you honor what came before you, instead of saying, oh, we're going to do it better. Like, no, you're not. The simple fact that you made that statement, your film book project is going to fail because you're trying to say that you're better than the original and you're not. Just that's it. Like we're in the era of remakes and redos and reshoots and rethings. Like these people are like, I can write the book that Tolkien never wrote. He didn't write it because it wasn't supposed to be written. Nope. The Star Wars IP, EU, still alive and thriving. Enough EU material out there to last forever. Maybe not forever, but a really long time. Like video games, like not even the new video games, old video games. Like I've said this multiple times. I play like Star Wars: The Old Republic. It's an EA franchise. Might be moving over to somewhere else. It's a great game. Is it canon? No, because Disney. But it's great. Like it's got great stories. It's also got the representation that people keep saying that they want, but it's done well. Great character building, great character development. Like it's a great MMORPG. Yeah, them member berries rotted. And I think they're finally smelling it. We've been smelling it for a while. Them berries been rancid. Can't even make wine out of it anymore. The vinegar's gone bad. Well, when one thing good happens to one movie, the writers think everything needs to be that. Before it would be generic knockoffs, but now legitimate franchises are copying tropes. Yeah. Guardians of the Galaxy. It did so well. They're like, okay, every other movie is now going to be Guardians of the Galaxy with a different coat of paint. It's going to be funny. It's going to be witty. It's going to be jokes. No seriousness. They completely destroyed Thor's character. Like, sure, I didn't mind like some of Thor's wittiness, like sprinkled in there, but like he's a joke. He's an absolute joke now. Captain Marvel could have been good. They did the original Captain Marvel. Mike Marvel. Secret Wars? Bro, if they had done Secret Wars and then Infinity War, bro. Ragnarok adding 70s music was trying to copy Guardians. Yup. Now, don't get me wrong. I liked certain parts of Ragnarok. I'll be honest. I like certain parts of it. I liked the serious undertone parts where Thor and Loki were talking to Odin, and Odin's like, I'm sorry, I've failed you. I've messed up as a father, and realizing his mistakes. And then Loki and Thor working together. I liked that aspect of it. I liked Hera, like, as a villain. She was pretty good. She's like, I'm getting revenge because I was wronged. She was a strong villain, but she was defeated. I don't like King Valkyrie, though. That was stupid. Like, really stupid. Ugh. But there were aspects, like, that I liked. They shouldn't... Suicide Squad? That was like, Suicide Squad should have been very similar in tone to Guardians of the Galaxy, but it wasn't supposed to be a cut and paste, like, word for word, which I feel like too many people... Yeah. And just... It's not superhero fatigue. It's crap fatigue. We're tired of smelling shit. We as an audience, as customers, are tired of being given mediocre, low quality stuff, and it's being called fabulous. It's being called greatness. It's being called these wonderful things it's not. And people are tired of the lie. People are waking up. People are realizing that they have been hoodwinked. It's like, oh, you just want me in the theater to watch this bad movie and to tell you that you're amazing and awesome, even though we know this movie or this TV series is bad. People are realizing that that's a lie. People are realizing it finally. Everyone is all Snyder this and Snyder that, but looking at his list of movies, I never cared for any of them. He also screwed up Doomsday. I mean, I think compared to some other things, that's why people like Snyder. Thor and Loki are stuck with each other the same way we're stuck with Thor and Meat Boot. And Meat Boot. Yeah. The Loki the Loki TV Disney Plus series had potential to be really good. 1 or 2 good episodes. I was just doing the member berries. Like, remember when Loki was good? Remember when Loki was Loki? Remember when Loki was the god of mischief and didn't care about anyone but himself? Then he had a redemption arc. Oh yeah, that redemption arc, we just completely erased it. Doesn't matter. Like Mandalorian season 3, the Darksaber that we spent, Clone Wars. Well, not Clone Wars. Maybe Clone Wars? I don't remember anymore. Mostly Rebels, like the Darksaber that was supposed to be really, a symbol of the Mandalorian, power and a symbol of being Mandalore. And it was supposed to be a huge part of the Mandalorian like culture. Oh, we just broke it. Threw it away. Doesn't mean anything. Why'd you bring it into this? Why is it here in the first place? Had so much potential for Mandalorian, for the Mandalorian season 3. I was really thinking they were going to lead up to 3-way battle for the title of Mandalore. I was going to think that Bo-Katan was going to win. Even in my idea of like Mandalorian season 3, like I was always thinking that Bo-Katan was going to win, but I didn't think she'd become a little whiny batch of cookies. Well, y'all, I think that's where we're gonna call it for today. We are not gonna have Unplugged tomorrow. That's gonna be next week, hopefully, if I get back in time from my trip. See Men in Black and the clone rip for Is No Place for Loki. Yup. Flash movie tried to back off the nostalgia No Way Home did, but they wouldn't have done so much better by bringing Keaton back for a Batman Beyond. They would have done so much better by bringing Keaton back for a Batman Beyond movie. Yep. If they brought back Keaton for Batman Beyond, that would have been perfect. But they didn't. They chose to do a Flash movie with someone that doesn't care about the audience, but that's just me. They could have done a 15-minute sequence at the movie with younger Keaton. Right. Yep. De-aged him because that's we're in the era of de-aging. There were so many things they could have done. Like I don't understand why people are doing this. I think it's dumb. Also, I'm trying to remember for YouTube, are you like, do you have to be monetized to raid somebody else? Anybody in the chat? I don't think I can, but I would like to try if possible. So next week, before I forget, next week, I will be doing a premiere on Literary Souls. It will be a premiere, hopefully, if I can do it right. It will be with Mara Jade. Mara Jade's going to be coming on the channel, and we're going to record a video because I will be out of town next weekend, on Saturday for sure, all day. And I'm going to be... Didn't know they had that function. Yeah, I think it's still experimental, but it's a thing that's YouTube's doing. But I will I'll be out of town, so next Saturday we're still going to be doing an episode of Literary Souls, but it's going to be a premiere, and I will still be in the chat as much as possible with you guys for the premiere, but it will just be a premiere. It will not be live in the sense of this. But we're gonna give Mara Jade some love on the channel because she is a super smart lady, and I'm excited to have her on the channel. It'll be her first time on Literary Souls. Well, it's great to learn because knowledge is power. Yes, it is. I will do more research into how to raid on YouTube, so that way next time I can, because there's a lot of good streamers out there on Saturday mornings, Saturday afternoons, technically for me now. So yeah, I will see you guys hopefully next week. I'll be doing some streams for sure on my Twitch channel, and hopefully getting some uploads to YouTube. We'll be doing some Literary Soul highlights and maybe some other content on the YouTube channel. Once again, you guys are awesome, and thank you so much for being here. I'm excited to see where the channel goes from here. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm trying to get my channel up to 200 subscribers by the end of the month. We're at 187, so that's a doable goal. It's definitely doable. In honor of Jeremy, knowing is half the battle. Yup. Sure is. Let me see if I'm forgetting anything else. I don't think so. Just be watching me on Discord and social media for any updates and different things that are going on. Please don't forget that this Sunday is not unplugged. It will be next Sunday on my channel. That we are switching to every other Sunday on my channel to give Wicked and I a break for the summer, and just to help promote growth on my channel. So, all right, you guys have a great Saturday. And Jeremy, that nastiness, as always. Couldn't go without one. Of course you couldn't. You guys have a great rest of your evening, morning, wherever you are in this big wide world. Bye.